Hey PokeMoshPit, how's it going? This is Navigator here with a 5th gen OU battle against Biolizard1, a PMP director. He's using a sand team and I'm using a rain team, so let's see how it goes. I figure he's probably going to lead off with a Celebi, so I'm going to lead with Landorus to get the most momentum off the bat, knowing I can U-turn out and cause significant amounts of damage, or kill him maybe. It all depends what kind of Celebi set he's running. But instead he leads off with Tyranitar, and I still threaten him out, so I still think he's going to switch. And therefore, I'm still going to go for the U-turn. And I hit Wheezing, which is okay. Just get some damage stacking up there. I can easily go out to Politoed and scare him out with the water attack. And I am a Scarfed Politoed, so I do run full special attack investment and modest nature, actually, because I outspeed base 111 and still can keep modest with a Scarf. So I know I'll OHKO him, and I think he suspects that too. So he's going to double switch out, or he's just going to switch out to his Celebi. I'm going to double switch out to that Earth, predicting that, and I'm going to get off a U-turn, which does not as much as I expected actually. So I'm thinking maybe he's bulky Leech Seed. I'll just absorb Leech Seed with Breloom and then Spore him maybe, because I do run a lot of speed investment and Jolly actually, just outspeed the 244 mark by a long shot. In any case, he's going to recover up here, which is really bad. He T-Waves, which ruins Breloom. And now he's revealed T-Wave and Recover, so I figure, okay, it's probably bulky, physically bulky defensive set from Gen 4. And he's just using it in 5th gen, which I haven't seen most of, and it kind of caught me off guard here, since it sort of ruins Breloom and gets rid of his recovery, which is really bad, considering he's now slow, and he's got Sandstorm. He could potentially get Sandstorm up to damage him, start wearing him down. So I'm going to have to switch Breloom out here. I double Spore, predicting his switch, because I didn't think he'd want to stay in on Celebi. And Natural Cure allows me to go for another one. I went out to Starmie, predicting him to go out to his Azumarill, predicting Landorus, if that makes any sense to you. But he didn't, so I had to go into Jirachi to sponge a hit. And I figure he's going to want to switch again, because Jirachi pretty much walls his Celebi set completely, even if he's got the HP Fire. I do believe we're in rain at this point in time, so it's really not going to be doing much to my specially defensive Jirachi. Unfortunately for me, Landorus just isn't going to get the job done by itself, and I'm going to have to bring in Jirachi and get a little bit of prior damage, about 40%, 30% prior damage, before I'm going to be able to take this Celebi out. He does show a hidden power here after paralyzing. Oh no, I paralyzed him. And his hidden power turns out to be ice, so that's kind of scary for the sake of Breloom and Landorus, but it's okay. I'm going to get off a Thunder Wave. He's going to get off a Thunder Wave, my bad. I'm going to try to Iron Head, but I don't get the flinch or the paralyze, which is unfortunate for me, paralysis. And he brings out his Tyranitar yet again. I decided to go for my rocks here, wanting to get them up, so he couldn't pull any of these switch shenanigans as easily, but no! Jirachi getting Parahaxed right there. And then I get Parahaxed again, going for Iron Head, trying to get some damage on this T-Tar as he sets up rocks. And now I figure, alright, Iron Head, go. You can do this. And it does about a third, so I'm really wishing I'd hit that other one, because I could be in range to KO this T-Tar, even though he would probably switch out to prevent me to do so, from doing so. He's going to bring his Celebi back in now. I'm just going to set up Stealth Rocks now, figuring I am paralyzed and he probably had a Fire Blast, so it'd be better to get rocks up in case I want them for later, since I could potentially get horribly screwed over by that Tyranitar. He goes out into his Wheezing now, which is I'm not really too sure why I didn't just go straight out to it, but he went out to his Celebi first. He probably predicted a switch there and wanted to burn off as many of Wheezing's sleep turns as possible. Sadly for him, he does not get the second turn Wake, and Toad's OP gets a free switch in. Not entirely free because Stealth Rocks are up, but still. So here, I'm going to double switch back out like I've been doing all match and go straight back out into that Earth, my Landorus, my Randarosu. And he is going to double switch, or regular switch out to his Celebi. I keep saying that I'm the one double switching, he's just regularly switching. And I'm going to U-turn here, and I'm hoping maybe max damage, but I know it probably won't. However, I do know he'll be highly inclined to recover, so I'm going to go out to my Starmie, say screw it, I just want this Celebi dead. It's stopping really all of my team at this point, and usually it's not much of a threat, since everyone and their mother runs Nasty Plot Giga Drain these days, and it's a lot less bulky than this, but I go for the Life Orb, boosted Ice Beam, and I know it's not going to kill, but I'm sorry, I need to sacrifice something if I'm going to get enough damage on it to beat this Celebi. I would easily win it with Jirachi, just one-on-one, but he could switch around, and even if he stayed in, it would take tons of time to get enough flinches and not get paralyzed enough to beat him, and it's really just not desirable. Here, he's going to decide to preserve his Celebi, which is a little weird to me. I think he wants to use it as fodder for later, since it is at really low HP, and if he sets up his own sand again, the rocks are going to hurt it really badly. I bring in Politoed, I am Scarfed, I go for the Surf, and he hasn't been seeing leftovers, so I'm pretty sure he assumes I'm choiced in some way. He hasn't really seen it output any damage before then, though, so I could still bluff the specs at this point, which makes it a little dangerous for him to switch into T-Tar, but he decides to risk it for a biscuit anyway. Bring in T-Tar, which takes the Surf. I figured it probably would, but I knew his best option would be Crunch, and even if he had it, I'm not entirely sure it would have killed. I kinda doubt it. So I'm just going to stay in here with Politoed, and then I realize, wait a second, even though I have a Rain team and he has a Sand team, I want that Sand up at this point. Starmie's dead, Breloom's paralyzed, Jirachi's paralyzed, and really, this Azumarill is going to be terribly threatening if I have Rain up. So instead of going to my near-perfect Azumarill counter, which is Slowbro, I'm going to stay in and sack Politoed just so he can keep his Sand up. Because aside from not boosting that Azumarill, also, now that he has Sand up, my Scarfed Landorus has its Sand Power ability, or Sand Force, I believe it might be called. So, a powered up Earthquake, which is going to hit everything at this point now that Weezing's out of the picture, is really, really threatening for his team. He brings in Celebi here, just going to fodder it out, and Randorosu easily takes it out. He goes into his Crocodile here, not a problem. I still kept Breloom, I still have Breloom, I kept him. And he resists just about anything you would put on a choiced Crocodile, and I'm kind of figuring it's choice just looking at the rest of his team. It seems like a Scarfer to me, judging by that damage output, because yes, it's doing a lot, but Breloom's very frail, so I'm not gonna assume banned here. I just put it to sleep, which was kind of a bad play. I wasn't 100% sure Drain Punch would kill, but I didn't really need it to. I just needed the damage. So what I should have done there was just go straight for the Drain Punch, but hindsight is 20/20, and who cares what I did? It killed it anyway. He brings out Nidoking now, and I'm just going to leave Breloom in as switch fodder so that I can safely bring Landorus back in, because it's fine. I have the Randorosu, and Sandforce Scarfed EQ is just going to wreck this Nidoking. I don't even have to worry about him being Scarfed, and that's just going to destroy him. And I believe his last at this point is Azumarill, which could potentially take on my Landorus and my Jirachi. So I'm going to sacrifice Landorus here, just stay in. There's really no point in switching at this point since it's his last guy. And bring in my answer to this little Azumarill here, jumping around. So I send in Ralph, my boy, and he takes an Aqua Jet like a god. It's like 12 points of damage or something absurd like that. Just going to whip off a Psychic, standard defensive Slowbro here, and it's going to do work. It's going to clean up and finish the game. So that was a great game, Biolizard1, and I hope you guys, the PMPBeta viewers, enjoyed watching this. If you did, please leave a like rating and subscribe to PokeMoshPitBeta, Biolizard1, and please, if you have time, check me out. Check out my channel. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and that's all. Bye.